Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Top Agent Nation Commercial Wednesday. And as everyone knows, in this day of technology, as many of us grew up playing maybe Atari, right? We all wanted Ataris back in the 70s, to watching the growth of the internet. I mean, and then we heard about the metaverse, but now AI. But one of the big things that people don't realize is social media, your own personal branding, and really scaling and building content. So I'm super excited to have Dana Flanagan with us today to share her journey and how she really, Dana, you're everywhere. I think I see you on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and it seems like it's so complicated, so hard, or you're literally doing this all the time to
Mhm.
teach people really how to grow and build this. Because I'll just tell you this, a lot of times we follow us commercial practitioners what the residential's doing. And I remember a while back, people said, we do not put our faces on cards. We as commercial agents are anonymous and we are behind the scenes. But more and more commercial agents are coming to the forefront, adapting and really embracing social media, building their own brand, and really almost just putting yourself out there. So, Dana, I'd love for you to share as much of the golden nuggets and journey and everything else that you have for our audience today.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here, and I appreciate the opportunity to share what I have really been doing as a profession now, more so than ever, with being a real estate agent for over 25 years and having multiple verticals in the real estate world. I primarily built my business from social media. Right when it first came out, I got on Facebook as soon as it came out. I think that might have been like 2006. And I just started blasting what I did all over social media. Now, if I go back and I look at, if I saw those old posts now, I would cringe because I'm sure they're terrible. Um, but you have to let people know what you do. If don't be a secret agent. People need to know who you are, what you do, who you help, and how you help them. And when somebody says to me, "Oh, I don't do social media," like that's not cool anymore, right? So, that's supposed to be like, I think some people think, "Oh, I do it the old-fashioned way." Well, this is, everybody's getting into AI. AI is taking over, right? Social media, if you're not on it, you're behind. You're way behind. If you're not out there letting people know who you are, what you stand for, how you can help them, and what value you can bring, not only for your potential prospect or your customer, but for other people that might want to collaborate with you, other people that might have groups like this that might want you to speak. They might want to send you a referral. If they don't know that you are in a certain field, helping a certain type of customer or client, they're not going to refer business to you. So putting yourself out there is so important. And I can get into a little bit of the steps of how we do that.
Dana, I always think it's funny, and we all heard, right? Like with technology, it's a technology use, but with social media, it's just go do it. Don't worry if you stutter, embarrass. Actually, sometimes the most authentic, you may go viral being silly, not hopefully a bad way or a notorious way, but a lot of times you never know what catches. I would say for a while, I thought commercial agents were only on LinkedIn. Got to
Right.
be professional, got to be kind of stuffy, right? Showing people what we do. And then later on, you start seeing people on Instagram, X, just kind of venturing out. I would
Mhm.
even say if you want to grow even more viral and quickly, right? TikTok is the way because I posted a group seven, some nonsense thing that things popped up on my feed and I didn't know what this was. So I used AI just to see what it was, built some kind of funny, post. It got 1.7 or 1.8 million views. And I
Mhm.
was like, what? This
Yep.
one little silly thing. So can you share, a lot of your journey posting, some of the tips and tricks, of how you can get out there and be authentic and be who you are?
Absolutely. Being on social media doesn't mean that you need to do dancing videos or talking heads or whatever. If it doesn't resonate with you, don't do it because it's going to feel forced and your audience is going to feel that that's not authentic to you. So if you like to be professional and have a professional presence every day, I do. I don't show up there in slippers and jammies, right? Some people do that. If that's not you, then don't do that. That works for people that are like stay-at-home moms that are doing TikTok shop, right? It works for their persona. But you can still be unscripted. You can still wear a suit jacket and be friendly and approachable. So figure out what works best for you. Where do you feel most comfortable? And create that brand around that. Create that brand and that persona. Just like, I mean, I'll relate this back to like a real estate sign. I started putting my picture on signs on everything that I did. And I know that's like nothing new, but I utilized my photo around my town when I built my business over 25 years ago as the number one agent in town. I built my business when I moved to a new town, when I worked back in Connecticut. Within 6 months, I superseded all the other agents in town because I put my picture on everything. It was repetition, repetition, repetition. It was all over social media. So people would see me in the grocery store, they would see me at the gym, and they're like, "You're that realtor." So I would have people in the grocery store with little kids that would go, "Mommy, her picture's in our neighborhood," right? It was that repetition. And that's what you're doing here. You're getting in front of your audience so they know who to contact if they see a referral come across their table for a multifamily in your city. Whatever it is, and I know we get a lot of calls for things that we don't do sometimes, but we probably know somebody that does. And the way that we know that is typically from building a relationship. This is all about creating relationships. The days of going to like the chamber events and Rotary, and that's still obviously people still do that, but think about the ROI on that. Think about how many more hands you need to shake, how many more people you need to go up and talk to, right? Versus getting in front of hundreds of thousands of people at one time on social media. So think about what are you good at? Who is your audience and who are you speaking to? Why is it relevant to them, right? And why should they care? Because what you want to do is you want to hook your audience. When Jim was saying that he had a video go viral, and I've had several go viral as well, it's not about virality. It's not about how many followers you have. It's not about how many likes you have. What you're doing is when you're making social media for business, you're getting yourself in front of the audience that you need to be speaking to. So it doesn't matter. Social media is not about you anymore. If you're looking at it to attract clients and prospects, you're not doing it for you. You're doing it for who you're trying to attract and who you're speaking to. So think about who that avatar is and that ideal audience that you want to attract. And then you're going to make content so the algorithm picks it up so it gets placed in front of the people that you want to attract. If you want to attract investors, then you need to you need to tell the algorithm, "Hey, investors," you want to put those words in your content. So social media should do three things. It should get you in front of the right audience. It should start a conversation, and then it should move people to the next step. That next step is whether or not they're going to get on a call with you, whether or not you want them to click on something and register for something, whether or not you want to get them into your DMs, which is your direct messages. So you always want to think about that, right? Like get in front of the right audience by making proper content to position yourself that way. Start a conversation. This is no different than if you were to bump into somebody at the grocery store. We're just starting a conversation. We're not info dumping on people. We're not, "Hi, my name is," and then we're dumping everything on them, right? We're leading them into a conversation just like you would when you meet somebody in person. So, how are you going to attract your ideal audience? You're going to have your brand and your brand message really clear on your profile and your bio. Your profile picture should be very clear of who I'm talking to. Not you with sunglasses, not you with a hat on, not you with your 10 family members, so we have to figure out which one you are. Just you. And then you need to have a brand message that goes along with that. If you don't know what that is, and yes, you can say, "Oh, it says realtor, it says commercial real estate agent." That's not good enough. There's 100,000 other people that have that in their title. Think about your "I help" statement. Your "I help" statement, this should go in your profile, in your bio. I help your specific avatar with their specific problem or need through your service or product. And then if you want to really add on to it, you can put without their pain point, right? Without without burnout or whatever you want to put. Like if you add that piece of it, it always helps. So your "I help" statement should be who you help, how you help them, and what vehicle, your service or product that you use to help them better than anybody else. And that should be in your bio, and it should be consistent across all platforms. Certain platforms are a little bit more professional, as Jim was saying. Instagram is going to have a little bit more of a lighter vibe to it than LinkedIn. LinkedIn, I will make my posts. I won't put certain things on LinkedIn that you'll see on Instagram or TikTok. I just won't. And that's where you'll see different, more professional content. I get a lot of business from LinkedIn and Facebook. Those are probably my top two. And Facebook's going to be maybe more personal, more people that have known you for a while. But remember, people that know you, like your family members or your friends from high school or whatever it is, they necessarily aren't your ideal client, right? They're just there. So, how are you going to position your content? You're going to create a valuable hook, an engaging hook in the first 1 to 2 seconds to stop the scroll. You want to make a reel, not necessarily a photo or a static post, but a video. Doesn't need to be you talking, although that's great if you can do that because people relate to an actual person, but it needs to be a hook. A hook can be visual, or it can be something that you say, or it can be what you write on the screen. So even if you take like a panning video of a condo complex that you're going to be listing, right? It needs to be 5 to 7 seconds, no more than 7 seconds. You're going to pan that and you put some music behind it and you're going to put, hey, Atlanta buyers, right? Now it's getting you in front of Atlanta, it's getting you in front of buyers, right? So you're going to call out who you're talking to. Or are you looking for the perfect investment property? So now investment properties in that hook. So the hook can be what you say, it's also what you write on the screen. And you'll see people do other types of hooks like on TikTok and Instagram. For instance, if I start a video and I have glasses on and I go like this, hey everyone, and I take them off, that's a hook. It's a visual hook, right? So you see people drinking out of their coffee cup in their car. That's a visual hook. Something to get their attention. I see Keith over there. Something to get their attention within the first 1 to 2 seconds to stop the scroll. Then your value is going to be in your content. So what you're actually writing, whether it's Instagram, it's below, it's Facebook, it's above. And then you're going to always tell your audience what you want them to do. You need to always have a CTA, call to action, in the post, which is DM me for more information. DM me the word condo to get more information on this complex. You want to get them into your DMs to start a conversation with you. No, don't put email me at this email. Nobody's going to do that. That's you have to think about people want touch and tap, right? They want really quick. So don't say contact me at this email address, go to my website. Don't do that. No one's going to go put in www. They're not going to do it. So there are certain places where you can create a link in your bio. You can do that on Facebook and in Instagram, well, in all of them, but you have to direct people to the link in your bio. If you make a story, and please be using your stories on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, it's what keeps you relevant, rotating in the top of the feed all the time. So I know this sounds like a lot, and you're like, man, this sounds like a lot of work. It is a lot of work. I spend over an hour a day on social media, just updating everything, getting back to people, but that's where the leads are, right? I don't care if I spend 5 hours a day on it, if that's where my business comes from. So I spend an hour a day just on my own content, just posting my content, making videos, putting it in CapCut, using a teleprompter, whatever it is that I'm doing, I spend over an hour a day on it. And then responding in groups. If you're looking for more business, don't forget that there's tons of groups out there. So if you're looking for more investors, you're looking for funding, go into, like, I'm going to use Facebook as an example. Go into the top in the search bar and put in multifamily groups. And you'll see all these groups come up. Look for the ones that have a ton of people in them, like 100,000 people or more. Make sure you don't get in the ones that have like 27 people, because somebody probably created that group and then just forgot about it, right? Go in those high performing groups, and you're going to get access to the groups, and then you're going to bring value to the groups. I know this sounds like, oh my gosh, this is like a full-time job. Yes, it is. But you can attract leads and you can be the go-to authority in your market if you do this correctly and you're consistent with it. People are going to start to look at you and respect you as the expert, and they're going to come to you for everything. They're going to follow you. So although this takes time, it's important to start the wheels in motion if you haven't done any of this, because people are going to start seeing the value that you're posting in the group. They're going to follow you. Then they're going to see that you posted a new property. Then they're going to see, maybe if they're looking for something else in a different area, they might come to you. And so that's how you really build your network really fast versus going to the event, spending money to fly across the country to go to an event that's got 50 people there. This is the way to build your email. I could teach a whole course on this, but you can build your email list if you want to get really techy. And this is what I teach in my coaching program. I build all these funnels and everything for people. Is you get an email address from somebody in exchange for something. So you give them a freebie on my top 10 ways to maximize your ROI on your investment property. I'm just making this up. Click here for my free guide or click here for my freebies. So when they click, they're going to enter their email address and that's going to automatically send them the PDF. Now you've got their email address. Now you're going to drip them every single week. So this is how funnels and automations and all of that work. It's a little bit more, that's a whole nother class. But if you can give people value in exchange for their email address, that is how you're going to build your email list really fast. And you're going to be giving away something of value to the audience that you're trying to attract. So remember, check your analytics on social media. I position myself in front of 91 to 92% non-followers all the time. That means that the algorithm is picking up who I want to be in front of and therefore attracting that new audience, if that makes sense.
Dana, wow, drinking out of a fire hose for sure. I mean, with this, I love that you're saying instead of spending all this money to spend to 25 or 50, granted, if you can do it, goes deeper, but to touch with a better ROI is to find those groups. And I love those suggestions. How would people go about kind of finding and building and then adding value, like you said, because some people may not know or understand, what could they do? How is it structured in some of these groups? And maybe an example of what you did maybe earlier on, because you're so out there. This is intuitive and just natural for you. But let's say if you're new and you're like, I maybe just have a Facebook account just to be with my family. I have a LinkedIn just so I can have my resume out there. How would anyone that's really new starting this in baby steps get started?
Sure. So it's really about putting content out there every day. So twice a day. And reels get positioned in front of non-followers more so than anything else. So a reel is a video, as I was saying, a 7 to 10 or 5 to 7 second video. That's going to get positioned in front of the people that you want to get in front of. So that's going to start to get followers. If you are a little bit funny, maybe if you're a funny person, I'm not like super funny. So I tend to try to provide as much value as possible. I find this is crazy, and I know that a lot of people won't do it in the professional world, and I don't like doing this that much either. But when I make videos of me just doing stuff in my house while I'm talking, like emptying the dishwasher or like cleaning my counters, and I put writing over it, those videos go way up versus dressed in a really nice suit, talking at the camera all perfectly and professionally. It's the stuff that people want that peek into your life. So if you make a visual reel without you talking and then you put writing over it, you're going to feel silly. I promise you, you're going to feel silly. You're like, I'm literally recording myself emptying my dishwasher. Like, this is dumb, right? But you can record it for 3 minutes, and then all you're doing is looking for a good clip that's like 5 seconds long. And you're going to put writing over it anyway. So who cares? It's in the background. Once you start doing it, you're going to realize that gets a lot more people. So, my fiance is a mortgage broker. He's really good on social media as well. He set his phone up on our deck and videoed himself mowing the lawn this summer. That video, just back and forth, he went viral with that video because it's visual and it's like something that everybody does, but you don't think to record, right? So if you don't want to be in the video, you don't have to be. You can just pan something, like pan a property, but a lot of that stuff, think about, is this boring or is this interesting? Because the more that you can differentiate yourself from other people, it's going to attract more people, especially if you've never done it before, especially if maybe, your age group isn't used to seeing that, right? So think about how you can think outside the box for your ideal audience. Like my ideal audience is typically women between 40 and 60 that are pivoting in midlife and are burnt out. That is what my program is all about. Even though I've been in real estate, I coach realtors, I coach men. Um, but that has what has that demographic has come to me more than anything else. These women that are just tired of working their 9 to 5 jobs. It wasn't, I started coaching realtors and then I had people asking me to coach them, which is why I built my program that I have now. So it's for real estate agents, people in real estate. But really, it's overall how to network and build relationships without leaving your house in this day and age. That's really what it's about. So I do have a beginner course called Standout Social. It's $197. If you literally have no idea what I'm talking about and you don't know how to make a reel, you don't know how to edit, it teaches you all of that. And it goes step by step in videos of how to do these things. And getting yourself out there, putting yourself in front of the right people and networking that way is going to open up so many doors to opportunity. I can tell you, my parents used to think, my father especially, who's always very critical of whatever I do, in a loving way, is like, man, why are you wasting your time on social media? And then when he saw me building my business, and now when I speak on social media and branding all over the country and all over the world, he's like, wow, I can't believe you literally built a career out of social media. And it's I think it's like a college curriculum now. And it's one that I'd love to teach because it's so important in this day and age.
Dan, it was so much. And I know a commercial, we're the stuffy ones. We want to be perfect. We want to look. We want to overthink everything. And so if you could share, with, let's say, the 30s and younger, right? I mean, everyone's getting exposed, good or bad, into social media, but it's not going away. Can you kind of break down 30s and over, maybe 30s to 50s, right? There's always a breakdown, men and women, and kind of what studies you've seen and maybe some whys of why people are not doing it. Maybe, well, you do know about the men and, let's say, commercial real estate, where we should, and they are, because even with CREI, commercial real estate influence has been popping up. And now people are actually vying for, I want to be on that list. I want to be here. So if you can share kind of the demographic breakdown, some studies, and then I'll open it up to some of the audience, because I know we have some great people out there that will love your advice. And please reach out to Dana, and we'll probably put a deal together for Top Agent Nation and other groups to really share, because I have a problem, and I asked this at a conference. What tools do you use, or do you have to use a special program to record or make videos and to break them down, right? But maybe I'm overthinking, but please,
No,
Dana.
no, you can record right in the app for any of the programs. I personally just record on my phone and I get a really nice, I use a ring light if I need it. A lot of times, like if you stand in front of a window, that's great out, like light coming in at you. But I just use my iPhone and I use CapCut to edit. So I use CapCut to break it up. You can brighten it. So if I'm in a darker place and I know it's not going to look good, you can brighten the photo. You can also soften the photo. You can use filters, that kind of thing. So I really just recorded my phone and then I use CapCut to edit. There is a teleprompter app. Sometimes if you want to practice being on video, or you're not comfortable being on video, I highly recommend practicing with yourself. And you can use a teleprompter if you need to. It doesn't make it, it makes it look like you're not reading because it's directly in front of you. So just practice like anything. Post it messy, just post it because people will. I have so many people in my coaching program. They are paralyzed because of their own fears, their fear of being judged, what people are going to say, whether the people are going to buy from them, whether they've got, I have a lot of different types of people in my programs, from network marketers to people that have their own businesses. And they are keeping themselves stuck. They are keeping themselves from making money. I have so many opportunities. People message me all the time. How do I get on podcasts? You're on podcasts all the time. I'm on a podcast at least once a week. And all of those, I don't seek those out. Those come to me from constantly seeing the repetition of me speaking, me being on other podcasts. I record these kind of conversations. So I have a camera right here recording me. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm going to literally go and find the 30 seconds that looks good. I'll edit it and I'll put it into my stories. So it was a great time today having this call with Jim and Renaissance, Top Agent Nation and all of that. So you can put that in there. Whenever you do something with someone, tag them, acknowledge them, recognize them. So when you're invited somewhere, on a podcast, on someone else's call, on one of your weekly calls for your brokerage or whatever it is. Tag that because that builds your web and it gets seen by those people in those groups. So when you're tagging other people, you're not only acknowledging them and giving them, you're edifying them as well, but you're bringing that exposure to you as well. So anything that you're doing, I mean, obviously, if it's not confidential, I'll run a camera and I'll just take a little bits and pieces out of it because people, even if they don't like your stuff and even if they don't comment, they're watching you. They're watching and they're like, what are they doing? Whether it's joining your brokerage, whether it's doing a deal with you, whether it's making a referral, even if they're not saying anything, when they think of you or they think of the need the problem that they have that you solve, they're going to think of you. So it's just that repetition. It's like having a billboard. I mean, I used to pay a ridiculous amount of money to buy leads, a ridiculous amount of money. And now I teach people how to attract people through social media organically, but then I also teach you how to run Facebook ads for $5 a day and attract the leads that you're looking for. So all of this I teach in my program. And it's I work one-on-one, so it doesn't matter if you're a male, female. I find out what you're looking to do and I work with you to create a plan. It's a 90-day program. But I mean, this is the way that you need to get out there in this day and age, and it can make you so much money. Every amazing opportunity I've had has come to me from social media. It has not come from me, has not fallen on my doorstep, right? It's kind of like dating in today's world, right? People say they don't want to do dating apps. Well, I mean, are you waiting for that person to show up on your doorstep? Because unless you're putting yourself out there, it's not going to happen. So it's kind of the same with business, right? So,
Dana, that's amazing. And I'm glad, with the story. And a lot of people, I would say some of us are stubborn and we always say, well, we don't need to do it. Our career's almost over. We did it this way. That's the way to do it. So do you see maybe, I see someone raising their hand, but is it that it's the men or a certain demographic in age that they're just like, I'm just doing it. I'm successful. I don't need to do it. So why would they need to do it? Let's say if they're 50s or even 60s, right? You're not done yet.
Mhm.
And usually what I've been hearing is you have the most credibility, right? If you had a great career by just getting out of your comfort zone because you may be known or you've done a lot of things to share it. So what would you say to those people, let's say on the second half of their life?
Sure. Well, I mean, gosh, there's so much opportunity there. There's so much to be said about experience, and you could create a digital product and then you sell it over and over. And what is a digital product? It's a course, a curriculum, some downloadables. You make it once and you sell it over and over and over again for the same price, right? So maybe that brings people into a community where you do a coaching call every single week or month. And I know a lot of people do those programs for free. That's great. But if you want to monetize that, why wouldn't you teach other people to duplicate what you're doing? And then you take a percentage of whatever it is. And I'm being very broad here. But if you're in a brokerage that has a revenue share model, it's a great way to attract people to your revenue share model. And if you're not with a brokerage with a revenue share model, I'm seriously questioning why. Because honestly, I've been with both, and it's when you are providing value, people naturally want to work with you. They naturally want to work with you. They want to be around you. They want to be doing what you're doing. So even if you feel like, oh, I'm at the end of my career, you can build that duplicatable process. Maybe you build a program. Like I resell my program so that people can duplicate it and put a business in a box basically into whatever it is that they're doing with the automations and things like that, that gets them started. Because if you were to try to go find all these things to link them together, it's going to take you forever. It took me years. I mean, it took me years. I bought all sorts of different programs. Like this one didn't really work. I didn't like this one. These two didn't talk to each other. So using that expertise that you have and being able to teach that to other people. I know I see a whole bunch of people on here from commercial and that got some of their own groups. There are so many people I see online looking to learn how to do wholesale real estate. Someone teach me how to wholesale. Someone teach me about being a loan broker. I see it all the time. So if you had something that fulfilled those problems and you were able to monetize it, that's where the need is. Look where look where your audience's problems are. Look, that's how you build a business on social media is look and see what your audience's problems are. What I saw was women in midlife that were burnt out, either out of 9 to 5 in real estate, were tired of the hamster wheel, as was I, honestly. And I thought to myself, how am I ever going to try anything new if I can't get off this hamster wheel of constantly like chasing the next listing? It was nuts. And they lack confidence on showing up online. They're afraid to put themselves out there. They're afraid to take a risk. They're afraid to go after their dreams. And that was a clear and immediate problem that my audience had. So I created a solution for that problem. And so that's what you need to do is figure out what is your audience's problem and who is your ideal audience. Well, a lot of times it's someone that's like you that's got the same type of problem. It's just you created the solution before they did.
Dana, this is great. And you know what? We've always said don't be in your comfort zone too long and you got to break up. But I definitely see, and that's why I had to get you on to share everything, is because we're not over. And with the social media, I mean, this is the time where I would say the blockers or the middle or the services that used to bottleneck or gatekeep is no longer there anymore. It's just you in your own mind willing to do it. So I want to give everyone a chance to maybe ask some questions if you want to raise your hand. Keith, I know you've been making some comments, maybe Keith or Max or April, Lauren. Any thoughts or
Jim, are you saying that Max and Keith are old guys?
well, let's just say experienced guys, right? But share, maybe Keith, if you want to ask a question to Dana, or are you doing anything that Dana's been sharing today? Keith?
Am I doing what Dana talks about? And this is being recorded. um, I do LinkedIn, and I don't know. I talk on the phone a lot, and I meet a lot of people all the time. I don't do a system like she says and start collecting mailbox money, which could be a good thing to do if you think about it.
So Dana, what would you say? Like he, been around, very connected, very social. I'm going to get a camera and just watch me all the time. And I never thought of that and just connect. I just thought recording when you do webinars and that's good enough, but it's more than that. So Dana, could you maybe talk to maybe Keith, older guy or experienced guy, in the I would say over 50, Keith. I'm not going to tell how old you are. And, great career, great friendship, likable guy, just never started.
Yeah. Well, Keith and I have met in person, and he's a great guy with a super personality, as you can see. And, really, he's got a lot of good information to share. So why are you keeping that all to yourself? Let people see your personality. He's a funny guy, and he's kind of like a big teddy bear. And, let people see that side of you because people work with who they know, like, and trust, right? And so they may be looking for someone in Alabama, but if they don't know that you're there to help them, or they may be looking to switch brokerages, they may be looking to build a revenue share model. And so there's so much that we can offer with, with what we do. And Keith and I are connected in our real estate business, but what is the problem of the people that you're talking to? What is the biggest problem that you see? How can you help them? And what value can you provide? I mean, there's so much experience there. So offering those tips of value, letting people know what you're looking for collaborations. I mean, yeah, it takes work. You got to get on Zooms with people. You got to, you got to take the time to do it. And it can be a time suck if you let it, because I have to be very careful now who I give my time to, because everybody wants to hop on a call, right? They see that you're everywhere. They want to get in your pocket. So just being really purposeful with who you're having conversations with, but you're never, I mean, age has nothing to do with it, really. I mean, there are people that are doing social media that are literally doing TikTok shop and selling crazy amounts of numbers that are like in their late 80s and 90s. So there's no reason that you can't be on social media. It's just a choice. And a lot of people don't want to learn it if they're not good at it. And you mentioned something earlier, Jim. You said people are looking for jobs and things like that on LinkedIn. Yes, LinkedIn is a great place for people to find jobs. However, I get contacted. I don't even actually know how I get so many of these, but I get career coaching proposal requests, probably 15 a day. And when I look, here's the kicker. All these people that are looking for jobs, they have no followers in the sense of they are a real person. They're not like a fake account or anything, but it's a direct correlation. You can't find a job. Nothing's like, that's what they'll be putting in their proposal to me is I can't find a job. And it's all these fields I have no experience in whatsoever. But I've tried everything, I'm getting passed over at my company. And I look and I'm like, but you're not networked. Like that's part of the problem. So, you don't see people with 25,000 followers on LinkedIn having those problems. It's always people that have like under 1,000, under 500. They're not utilizing the tools that people are utilizing in this day and age to stay front and center in front of people. And you guys have all heard the term, it's not about what you know, it's who you know. And a lot of times, I don't have a college degree. I've gotten positions in things that I'm not super, super, like I don't have a finance degree, but I became a partner at a capital firm, right? Because I do business development and people look to me to grow their business through marketing. So although I may not be underwriting your loan or looking at, all the nitty gritty of all your data room, I can put the deals together like nobody's business. So that's why I'm valuable to them. So find out, find places, people that need your services of where you bring value. And you literally can create, I always tell people, you literally can create any position or job for yourself. You can get yourself in the door anywhere if people understand why they need to know you and why it's important in business.
Amazing. I know April has been waiting to ask something. So April Lawson, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Jim. And I want to begin by saying thank you, Dana. I personally have peeled back or scaled back a social media presence because I'm an extremely private person. But what I do appreciate is the snippets that you gave today. And what stood out to me mostly or primarily were just some of the hindrances for me. And you indicated it's not about perfection. So I appreciated that. You gave us simple tools that we can use right away. I love, love, love the fact that you did put in the piece about time blocking because that's truly me. I do not have time to spend 20 and 2 and 3 hours on social media creating content, but based on what you said, hey, just factor in an hour of your time. That is enough. And then the biggest takeaway for me was the editing material that you mentioned. I think it was CapCut. So now, with just in this short period of time that of information that you shared with us, you really have given us tools to get started tomorrow if we chose to. So I do appreciate it, and I do see the value in what you presented today. So thank you, and thank you, Jim.
Oh, you are most welcome. Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that. And I'm so glad it helped.
And that's the thing. I know April for a long time. You probably met her, very perfectionist, hard worker. And I'm just surprised, April, you're not burnt out yet for the amount of time and effort and energy you always put in. But I love that, Dana, because we're not working smarter this time. We're just working harder and sometimes spinning our wheels. And I'm glad that you're opening everyone's mind and, really making a course affordable of getting started, overcoming the blocker of being perfect and polished, and then showing how you can edit and cut it up. Because I know I've had to go through this. I always ask, and I'm going to pick your brains on this one, is to use the content that you already created. Many people have to really cut it and make it and put it out there. And I never put lines and information, but I think I need to start learning and putting this and doing from all the content that I know I do. But maybe Scott, you want to ask, because you run the property management, right? Property asset management, kind of boring, but important. You want to ask how Dana, and this is good free time, to pick her brain on how she can help your business in the industry you're working in.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, Dana, thanks for all the info. Yeah, I do Instagram and TikTok every day. And so I'm pretty good about that. I use ChatGPT and Grok to kind of help make some of the content and create the content, things like that. I'm not great about LinkedIn, mostly because I kind of go off script and it's a little stuffy. I grew up on a farm, so suits and ties and all that are great, but so I do a little bit more. I do need to do Facebook though. I think that's a good idea. Get into some of the local groups because besides the property management, I do multifamily sales in San Diego. So I'm pretty good about AI, pretty good about daily postings and things like that, but. What I really need is just an affordable solution. I can just pay somebody to do all of it for me, quite frankly, because that becomes the burden to me, right? Like you said, an hour a day, and you're a pro. Like that'd be 3 hours for me, and it'd still be like a picture of my foot. So,
Well, I'm happy to talk to you about it. And there are groups on LinkedIn too. They're a little harder to find, but if you go in the search bar and put groups and then put in like the keyword that you're looking for, you're going to want to go under, there's a tab that says Manage My Network. And that's where you're going to look for all of the groups that you belong to. They only allow you to belong to 100, so I've maxed that out. But it's a great place for you to get connected with the people that you're looking to get connected with. And you know what? You mentioned, Scott, that you're not, into the suits and everything. Most people aren't, and here's the thing. I see people with their brand message so mismatched because I saw somebody who like they quit their 9 to 5 to go into house flipping. Totally fine. But he was talking about helping people with affordable housing and helping people get into homes that literally couldn't like the demographic was one thing. And then his marketing was him in front of driving a Mercedes in front of a private jet. And I mean, this was in Connecticut, by the way, which nobody really, I don't see, there's no like, it's just not like private jets like Fort Lauderdale, right? So I was like, your message is off. Like you're trying to attract people that don't have any money that, are like affordable housing, but you're showing yourself with jets and Mercedes. Like that's not gonna, it's not, it doesn't correlate. So you have to be very clear with your message and relatable to your audience. So with what you do, and what you're like, be yourself. People want real. And I can't stand AI is great for a lot of things. I use Chat GPT for a lot of stuff. It makes it, it moves things along faster for sure. But I don't like the fake photos. I don't like the fake videos. Like they're just not there yet with people that create their avatar walking like on a yacht and it's not even it's them, but it's fake. I don't like all that. And Jim was saying, sorry if I sound I'm super sick, you guys. So sorry I sound like this, but um Jim was saying to repurpose content. I repurpose content all the time. Sometimes I'll be somewhere and I'll see like a really nice scenery. I'll take my phone real quick and I'll just go like this. And I make sure I've got at least 7 seconds. I'll use it later. I'll just save the video, use it later. So I repurpose stuff all the time. And you can go through, you can put clips together. So like sometimes I'll have 5 or 6 clips together that move through like a sequence of video. And then sometimes I'll just use that one video for one clip. So you could take 5 little clips and you can literally create like 20 pieces of content from that. It's crazy because you can just reuse it over and over again. So yes, blocking time off to learn these things takes time. Getting better at it. I mean, there were times that I didn't know how to stitch videos together. I didn't know what I was doing. I watched YouTube videos. I took time instead of going out and hanging out with my friends on a Saturday, I took time to learn these things. So for me, I do all my social media first thing in the morning when I wake up or right before I go to bed. And then I'll try to post throughout the day. You can schedule it too. I do all my stuff myself. I don't hire anybody for it, obviously. But you can, and I help with that as well. So it's really important though, just to get into it if you haven't been into it, to get started and put yourself out there. You can have a whole new group of friends and clients sooner than you think.
I'll add one quick thing before Keith. On TikTok, just doing this, actually, I built some friendships. And in Los Angeles, I'm doing another event for CCC with Chris, a Lunar New Year event. And I just invited them. And it's funny that once you start building trusting and hopefully seeing people in person, you build something for it, but it's so quick. Like you said, you may not like the dating app or this app or that app, but it works, right? So you can't deny that it doesn't work for that hour, right? Or 2 hours or 3 hours. Many of us would cold call for 5 to 7 hours, and we were lucky to get 3 to 5 people a week to meet with us or talk to us. On social media, the number's much higher. Go ahead, Keith.
I was just going to ask, where do you rank podcasts if we do that?
Oh, podcasts are great. I mean, for
Okay.
me, I go on a lot of podcasts. I love the content I get from it. I don't know that, like, unless it's like a really a viral, there's so many podcasts, right? So unless it's like a really viral podcast, which most of the time you're just getting invited to somebody's um podcast, maybe that they don't have a ton of exposure. I mean, I honestly, I don't even really look and pay attention. I'll go on them if it makes sense for my business, but it's great. But then utilizing that content, repurposing the content that they give you. So again, I advertise the podcast beforehand if I can. I record part of it when I'm doing it. Then they send you, some of them send you really good deliverables, some don't. Like I was on one last week, I just posted it a couple days ago where he gave me like a really good deliverable. And some people don't give you anything really that good. So I don't even know how good their podcast really is. So it's great. Any exposure is good, right? Any sort of notoriety. I mean, think about all the times where, at least in the residential world, I mean, I used to spend $200 here on one little ad for an open house in the newspaper in town. Then like, $1,000 in this magazine. It was crazy. The amount of money I spent on paper advertising, where now you can literally take that content and get in front of millions of people. It's it's such a bigger ROI. And I'm so thankful I don't have to spend money on those ads anymore, those church bulletins or those placemats or any of that other stuff that I used to do. Um, but getting in front of people, letting people know what you do, how you can help them, getting in front of those groups, creating your brand and your brand message is so important too. Like, so go through your bio, go through your profile if you haven't done that, and get out there and get networked.
Dana, thank you. Wow. You know what? I just can't stress upon, and that's why it's great to have you speak. It's really building your brand. And one thing with AI that we've had talks, everyone's seeing these layoffs. Start now, build your brand, build who you are, build the credibility. And then, like you were saying, Data, let's talk about the next part to kind of end this out, plugging it in, right? Monetization, right? It's great. You're out there running around. Sometimes we're all saying a dog chasing its tail. Right. Spend a lot of energy, no productivity. You didn't go anywhere. So what do you see once you build that brand to, let's say, over 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 other followers? What do you do with it? Or what could you do with it?
Sure. So I send out an email every single day, email newsletter. I keep it professional, but personal too. Like I met Robert Kiyosaki last week in a hotel lobby, and I ended up riding in the car with him to, if you guys don't know who he is, he's the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, but he just happened to be walking across the lobby looking for something to eat. And we were going to a VIP dinner for a real estate business conference we were going to here in Charlotte. And we asked him if he wanted a ride and wanted to come to the dinner. And he was one of the speakers the following day, but I don't know that he was I don't know if he was going to that dinner. So he came with us, and what a great, cool thing that was. And I took, we took a picture with him, and we had a great conversation with him. So I put that up there multiple times. And just putting different things that you're doing, right? So I put that in my newsletter. I let people know, like, I did that. And then I spoke at another event last week, and that was, I mean, the feedback that we got from that was amazing. So not only you were mentioned something a little while ago, Jim, with TikTok, and I met a realtor last week on TikTok. All he did was like one of my stories. So it gives you a notification. I was like, who is this guy? I've never seen this guy before. And it said realtor next to his name. So I clicked on it. Said he was with Berkshire Hathaway. I'm like, well, he's not with my company, so let me see if he likes where he is. I just said, hey, you look like a friendly guy. I said, hey, how's business going for you? And he's like, it's okay, could be better. And I said, I noticed you're at Berkshire Hathaway, and I was with them years and years ago, but I've got something that might be better for you at this stage of your business. If you'd be interested in exploring it. I sent him our revenue share, like, recruiting video, and he had a call with us yesterday, and I think he's going to join us. So I met just chance meeting, and he totally hit it. Chris, I see Chris S is on this call. He was on the call with Chris S and I, because Chris is my sponsor at EXP. And he's coming over now from a quick, all he did was like something. That's it. And I took the time to look at his profile. I'm sure that happens where I don't do that. But it's such an awesome, if you have a revenue share model and you want to acquire 100 agents in your downline, start making thousands of dollars a month in passive income, that's the way to do it, is working together, maybe with other people that know what they're doing, to build that downline. And then that way you don't have to chase business. Just put out there how you help people. People want value. Most realtors, they want more money, they want more organization, they want more time freedom. So, that's just some of my tidbits there on that, how you could use that.
You know what, Dana, I love in this time, unless you just love being on social media and want likes or attention, most people are looking for some type of return, something that you can make some money, right? Cover the bills. Or if you tie it into what your passions are, traveling, right? Some people love travel blogs. They go around, maybe they get some perks from travel agencies or companies, right? They want you to share on this. And I love that just putting it out there, plugging in, some type of monetization is so important. And this is where you're helping us too on Renaissance, because there are certain parts of residential sending referrals to commercial and non-RESPA services that there's other ways that people can raise and increase revenue just by sharing what you're doing, right? But you got to do the hard work, getting yourself out there. But having your tips, it's not that hard. So I do tell everyone, reach out to Dana. $200. We've spent more money than that. I think it's 1 month of Starbucks or one fancy dinner. Learn some of these tips, because I cannot stress, it can change your life. And building your brand, building your network, plugging into some system that you feel passionate or you enjoy, right? Dana can free you. I mean, you're freed many times over, but you enjoy this, right? So if you don't mind, final words and maybe some call to action for people.
Sure. So, if you're interested in getting started, my QR code is there. All my programs are under my website, which is danaflanagan.com. You can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn under Dana Flanagan, and Instagram is Dana Flanagan Official. And you never know what opportunities can come to you. I do a lot of affiliate marketing and digital marketing. So I have my own courses, which you'll see in my little library there when you go to my website. But I also get contacted, like Go High Level. I bought Go High Level a long time ago. That's the system I use to run my business. Go High Level saw me posting about Go High Level. So they contacted me and they offered me a partnership agreement. So they pay me at least one real estate closing commission a month. I'm not going to tell you how much, but it's a decent amount. I have to post a couple reels, a couple stories, and and I have to do one static post, which is just a photo. Every month I have a contract with them. That's it. It takes me I literally don't have to leave my house. I don't even have to it takes me maybe a few hours of work for the whole month. And you'll have brand partnerships. Ritz-Carlton contacted me. Jim knows I was just in Hawaii 3 weeks ago, filming for Ritz-Carlton with a celebrity chef, because I do some TV media, but I got those opportunities from putting myself out there on social media. So Ritz-Carlton is one of my clients now, and we're working on another partnership coming up here. So you never know what it's going to lead to. People have partnerships with some of the craziest stuff. Every single product, and Amazon, they do partnerships. This isn't just being an affiliate, but if you have a program, a product, you can make an affiliate model for that too. You can do that through Go High Level. So every single thing that I sell, I have an affiliate program. So if you were to buy one of my programs and you want to resell it, some of them pay 80% commission, some pay 50%. My high ticket coaching it's $6,000 for 90 days to work with me. If you refer it once, you get $1,500. So I've learned how to monetize everything. So if you have something like that, I can teach people how to build businesses like that, where it's just mailbox money coming in all the time from all the different things that you're doing. And you don't have to do a lot of different things. You can just have one product, one offer, and you can monetize that. Facebook and Instagram, Meta will actually reach out to you and monetize your account, which they did for me. So they pay me for all my posts. So it's pretty crazy.
You know, Dana, I always laugh when one day Facebook sent me something. I'm like, oh, I got my Netflix paid for. But
Yeah,
you just by doing your normal job. But I would just stress to people, and Dana, thank you for sharing and being here because I know, and get better, please. I
thank
know
you.
you do so much traveling.
It's been probably from all the traveling, but yes, I think something's going around. So thank you so much for having me and everybody for being on the call. And if I can do anything to help you, please feel free to reach out to me.
And please reach out to Dana. Like I said, it's $200. It's less than a Starbucks a day, less than one fancy, or nowadays, $200 doesn't even buy you a fancy dinner. It's a mid dinner with one glass of wine each. So you don't get that much. And I would say this is a opportunity to really change your life and make a difference. So Dana, thank you. And join us every week, Top Agent Nation Commercial Wednesdays, to learn some tips, tricks, networks, and getting to know each other on this calls because it is building your network for your net worth, but getting all these tips to work smarter. But you got to work harder. I always say that you got to work, you got to put in the work, but you can make things all happen a lot better. So everyone, thank you so much. Dana, thank you again.
Thank
Take care.
you.
And I just stress everyone, please reach out to Dana Flanagan. You can find her LinkedIn, Facebook, or definitely just scan the QR code. Makes it easier. Thank you, everyone. Have a
Thank you,
great day.
everyone. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.